Corruption. Corruption is an old as human history. It has existed in human society in one form or the other. Kautilya once said that just as it is impossible not to taste the honey that finds itself at the top of the tongue, so if honey drop on the top of the tongue, so it is impossible to taste the honey. Anyhow, the people we will be consuming. So it is impossible for a government official not to eat up at least a bit of king's revenue. Later, he identified about 40 forms of corruption. This legacy or the amount of money is continued unabated. Unabated means without any reduction after India's independence. Corruption is plaguing or the cause of Indian society and polity. Polity is known as government. Next, let's see the definition of corruption according to David H. Bailey. Corruption as a misuse of authority for the consideration of personal gains. According to J.S. Nye, corruption is a behavior which deviates from the formal duties of public role because of private regarding. Corruption amounts to unofficial fees, commissions, gifts, bribes, payoff, scams or frauds, kickbacks, forceful records, speed money, hafta. Hafta means it is periodically collected money from the gangster or corrupted policies, and even greasing of palms. That means if you want some favor from government official, whether to file to be open, sometime to sanction everything, so on. So in such a case, you have a doubt whether he or she, this government official, will be accepting or not. For that, you need to give some money. That's what known as greasing of palm. Next, corruption is defined as a misuse of one's position directly or indirectly for personal benefit in the form of money or material gain. As what this David H. Bailey said, corruption is as a misuse of authority. That's what known as a misuse of one's position for the consideration of personal gains. Next, in the land of Harishchandra, Buddha, Gandhi and Jai Prakash Narayan, it is unfortunate that most of the politicians and bureaucrats have indulged or given the way in corrupt activities. For them, end justifies the means. It means sometimes a good outcome or result excuses a wrong committed to attain it. Nepotism, favoritism and cronyism are pervasive or widespread phenomena in the India's public administration. Conduct rules adopted for all India services, central services and railway services have not put off or deterred the officials from corrupt practices. Number 2. Selfishness. As it is said, service to the people is service to the God has ignored by the people in power. They work for their benefit but not for the society, though service is their motto. Number 3. Corrupt politicians. Though the election system is flawless or perfect, the process of implementation is corrupted. Votes are being purchased and voters are driven to polling booths in order to get votes in their favor. Number 4. Lack of morality or ethics. Parents and elders at home, teachers in classrooms have to impart moral education because it is said that destiny of the country is shaped in the classrooms. In case if it is not done, it leads to deterioration or worsen of the values which finally leads to corruption. Next, corruption as a menace or danger to democracy. Let's see how this corruption has become the danger towards the democracy. Number 1. Power politics. Today, Nehru's goodness politics is replaced by power politics. Money power, muscle power have become dominant. Politics has become a gainful profession to make money and get publicity are some examples of political corruption. Number 2. Criminalization of politics. The prevalence or existence of large-scale criminalization of politics has increased illegal and illegitimate, that means unlawful expenditure on election. As this scenario means criminalization of politics is rampant or uncontrolled by this illegal and illegitimate expenditure on election, it has become menace or danger to democracy. Number 3. Demoralization of bureaucracy. It means it is the courage of destroying the moral values. So demoralization of bureaucracy. So here corruption takes the form of favoritism, red tapeism, nepotism. Destabilization of government means unstable government is due to illegal political operation and administrative corruption by bureaucracy or the officials has become the threat to democracy. Number 4, violation of social justice. Accumulation or collection of wealth through corruption concentrate in few people violates the principle socio-economic justice. So such people enjoys luxurious life, hence majority suffer from poverty due to deprivation or losing the moral values in life. This creates socio-economic inequality and imbalance which is against democratic value. Next, the most important one, Anti-Corruption Acts or Prevention of Corruption Acts. The Prevention of Corruption Act 1947 and 1988 have enacted by both union and state government to curb or check corruption in public administration. Through the adoption of institutional mechanisms like Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) in 1963 and Central Vigilance Commission (CVC) in 1964, so these both CBI and CVC, they investigate cases of misconduct by public servants or government officials and other corporate bodies that comes under the purview or scope of union government. So these both are under union government and central government, that is CBI and CVC. Lokpal and Lokayukta. The first Administrative Reform Commission, headed by Mr. Morarji Desai, recommended for Sweden-based ombudsman type of institution. So this ombudsman is an official who appointed by the government who investigate the complaint against business, financial institution or government department or other public entities. So this Morarji Desai recommended for Sweden-based ombudsman type of institution. Accordingly, the center have Lokpal and the states have Lokayukta. Since then, several attempts have been made to pass the bill, but it does not work out. With regarding to Lokpal, Lokpal is an anti-corruption authority. The movement India Against Corruption was led by Anna Hazare or Kisan Babu Rao Hazare in 2011. Demands from various civil society organizations for Indian ombudsman compelled the union government to introduce the bill again in 2012, because several attempts were made to pass the bill but it does not worked out early. So again they started to introduce bill in 2012. Finally the bill became an act on 1st January 2013. Organization. The institution of Lokpal consists of 9 members including the chairman. So chairman is included in these 9 members. Retired Chief Justice of India or sitting Supreme Court judge is eligible to head of the institution. So the head of the institution is retired Chief Justice of India or sitting Supreme Court judge of 8 members. First of all, we finished 9 members. Next comes of 8 members. 4 should be the judges of either Supreme Court or High Court, and remaining 4 must possess minimum 25 years of experience in a vigilance commission, that is Central Vigilance Commission. They must be apolitical, means not interested and involved in politics. Adequate representation must be given to scheduled castes, scheduled tribe, backward classes, minorities and women. The panel or the board consisting of Prime Minister, Speaker and leaders of opposition in Lok Sabha, Chief Justice of India and an eminent or efficient jurists. Their tenure is 5 years. Their term of office is 5 years. They can be removed by the President after the inquiry is conducted by the Supreme Court. The jurisdiction of Lokpal covers employees of union government including the Prime Minister, Ministers, MPs, Members of Parliament and State Legislature. Powers and functions of Lokpal. Lokpal has the power to sanction or approve prosecution against public servants. To register cases against corrupt officials, the permission of government or departmental head is not necessary. Number 2. All organizations receiving donation from foreign sources come under the jurisdiction of Lokpal. Third, Lokpal has the power of superintendence or supervision over any probe or investigation agency for cases referred by it. Number 4. Provisions is included for confiscation or action of taking and attachment of property acquired by corrupt means. Number 5. If the corruption charges are proved, the concerned officials have to undergo 2 years jail term. Number 6. The state governments have to appoint Lokayukta within 1 year from the commencement of Lokpal Act. They are free, the state government are free to make some changes. Lokayukta. Though the institution of Lokayukta was introduced for first time in Odisha, it was not able to implement or pass. Maharashtra was the first state to implement in 1973 and Karnataka in 1984. So this Lokayukta, this investigates the allegation or claim against the officials like corruption, favoritism, nepotism, injustice and other grievances. It does not include judges, speaker, chairman, accountant general, chairman and members of State Public Service Commission, judges of civil and criminal court. The Lokayukta receives the petition from the public and conducts inquiries. So this Lokayukta has the power to raid on the houses and office of corrupt officials. Lokayukta in Karnataka. The government headed by Sri Ramakrishna Hegde adopted the institution of Lokayukta in 1984. So just before we have learned that Maharashtra was the first state to implement in 1973 and whereas Karnataka in 1984 by Sri Ramakrishna Hegde. It comprises, or Lokayukta comprises of retired judge of Supreme Court or Chief Justice of the High Court is appointed as a Lokayukta and retired judge of High Court is Upalokayukta. The committee consisting of Chief Minister, Chief Justice of High Court, Speaker of Assembly, Chairman of the Council and leaders of opposition are consulted by the governor regarding the appointment. These committees are appointed for 5 years. They can be removed from the office by the governor on the charge of misbehavior or incapacity proved in the state legislature by 2/3 of majority. Y. Bhaskar Rao is the present Lokayukta and S. B. Majak and Subhash B. Adi are the Upalokayuktas in Karnataka. Powers and functions of Lokayukta. Here, the matters which may be investigated by the Lokayukta are: Number 1. Subject to the provision of the Act. The Lokayukta may investigate any action which is taken by or with the general or specific approval of Chief Minister or a Minister or a member of state legislature or the chairman, vice chairman or member of an authority, board or committee, etc. in any case where a complaint involving a grievances or an allegation is made in respect of such action. B. Any other public servant holding a post or office carrying a fixed salary more than 20,000 rupees as may be revised from time to time. So, Lokayukta can investigate any action which is taken by or with general or specific approval of A and B. That includes. So, here you can see how this Lokayukta may investigate any action which is taken by or with general or specific approval that is included in A and B. Number 2. Lokayukta may investigate any action taken by the public servant if it is referred by the state government. Number 3. In the process of investigation, the Lokayukta deals with the issue of search warrant. For the issue of search warrants for the said purpose, they have all the powers of civil court which is trying a suit under CPC, that is Code of Civil Procedure 1908, in respect of summoning or ordering and enforcing the attendance of any person and examining him on oath, production of any document, received evidence of affidavit, getting any public record or copy from any court office, etc. Number 4. The Lokayukta after investigation shall make a declaration with regard to the governor or chief minister of the state to the vacation of office of the said official.